really wanted to help employers understand by figuring out what is it that employers think that employees want versus what employees actually want. And then how do we figure out the gaps in between? More than anything, employees value flexibility. Financial health was one of the biggest stressors at work. I think those will be two things that will give them an edge in the marketplace. The really unique ways to look at things is to look at employee benefits like a customer experience problem. We think about our customers and we know them quite intimately well. How can we then turn that lens onto employees? Communication only happens on listeners' terms. And I think what's happened with benefits is that we deliver it on the boardroom terms, but not necessarily in the terms of our employees.
Today, we're diving into the critical world of employee benefits, focusing on how data-driven insights are reshaping conversations. Hi everyone, this is Maheen and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast, where we explore the strategic insights and innovative approaches that empower Canadian businesses to thrive in today's dynamic talent market. Now today we're diving into the critical world of employee benefits, focusing on how data-driven insights are reshaping conversations on workforce vitality and engagement. Now in a very competitive landscape, many employers, they make benefits decisions based on incomplete data, leading to a disconnect between what they offer and what employees truly need. Our guest is a recognized leader at the forefront of leveraging data to bridge this gap and reimagine the employee benefits experience. Joining us today is Faizal Mitha, the Chief Sales and Innovation Officer at Hub International. Faizal began his career as an underwriter and is also a tech entrepreneur who founded one of Canada's fastest growing insurtech companies. At Hub, a leading global insurance brokerage, he leads efforts to reimagine the employee benefits experience across Canada, leveraging AI and big data to improve benefits decisions and benchmarking. Hub's latest accomplishment is the launch of Canadian Workforce Vitality Gap Index, a study that is showing how employers often make benefits decisions with incomplete data. Today, we'll discuss lots, including the development of the 2025 Index Gap, explore its key insights, delve into the implications for the future of employee benefits, and examine how to move from assumptions to evidence-based strategies. So without a further ado, let's welcome our guest, Faizal. Faizal, we're very pleased to have you on the show today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Very pleased to have you with us. Now, Faizal, as mentioned in my intro as well, you led the development of the 2025 Canadian Workforce Vitality Gap Index. So let's really start with the motivation and the importance behind this national benchmark. Please tell us what motivated the creation of this gap index, what key force challenges does it address, and how does it reveal hidden benefits and engagement gaps that traditional surveys often miss?
Yeah, really, when we started this process, it was really around helping employers figure out the retention puzzle, right? So wherever I go talking to small business owners of different industries, the most common challenge that I hear is really around getting quality people to stay and strategies that they need to to employ that. So we really wanted to help employers understand by figuring out what is it that employers think that employees want versus what employees actually want.
Right.
And then how do we figure out the gaps in between? So that's really was our motivation. And we're really happy to get some of the insights that came out of it to support small business owners.
That is a very clear and strategic motivation, Faizal, and it's clear that this index, it provides a much-needed evidence-based view of the Canadian workforce. Now let's discuss some of the most striking findings from the index itself. Faizal, the index reveals quite a lot, like especially that many employers are really overestimating or underestimating employee needs, and this is a critical insight for business leaders. So please tell us, what surprising insights did the index reveal about the engagement, about the benefits, the financial literacy, and how does closing this gap impact retention and in performance?
Yeah, the great question. I think the first key insight that came out of it was, more than anything, employees value flexibility. So more so than compensation, more so than job security, flexibility is really king when it comes to what employees are looking for. That was 40% of respondents said that, and that was number one. So that was really fascinating to me, especially in this financial climate that we're in. So connected but unconnected to that is one of the other issues that we saw was around financial health and financial literacy, right? So financial health was one of the biggest stressors at work, and 60% of employees actually said that impacted them in terms of their work productivity. So I think when employers are looking at things, especially small business employers, to really compete in the marketplace, really thinking about employee flexibility and thinking about ways that they can close that gap around financial health and financial literacy, I think those will be two things that will give them an edge in the marketplace. And those were the two findings that I thought really caught my eye.
Right. Those are incredibly important findings too, Faisal, and it highlights the significant disconnects that exist in the workplace and their direct impact on the bottom line. Now let's discuss the implications of these findings for the future of employee benefits and how employers can really take action, because the findings of this gap, they have profound implications for the future of employee benefits. Please tell us, Faisal, how can organizations use the index to shift from assumptions to evidence-based benefits, and what steps can they take to improve support, engagement, and workforce resilience?
Yeah, I think one of the really unique ways to look at things is to look at employee benefits like a customer experience problem, right? Because if you think about it, we think about our customers and we know them quite intimately well. We ask them questions around demographics, we understand their preferences. So how can we then turn that lens onto employees? So I think one of the things that I see is, many employers, for example, run regular surveys. But I find that what's really missing is they don't take that marketer lens and ask those additional demographic questions. So it helps them understand the basis of their employees and understand how different groups within their employee base actually have different preferences. So that's one key thing. I think the other key thing employers can do is let's look at mental health, for example. I talked about financial health earlier. Mental health is also another key thing that came out of our study in terms of employers offering solutions, but employees not actually taking part in those solutions. Right. So I think what happens is a lot of times employers will roll out a mental health program and they'll check a box and say, okay, we're doing something for mental health. But they don't establish KPIs. They don't actually take a look at utilization to see if what we're actually offering is actually addressing what employees are looking for and what they need. And I think there's a big miss from doing that, because number one, you have wasted dollars. Number two, you have employees coming to work every day that have financial stress. They've already told us that in the study. And number two, they have mental health challenges that are not being addressed. And we've talked a lot in Canada about productivity being a big issue. So I think if those two things are not addressed, it really creates some challenges for that employer.
Well, that's incredibly valuable and actionable advice, Faisal. And it's clear that a data-driven approach is quite the key to creating a more engaged and resilient workforce. Listeners, if you are struggling with employee retention and engagement, please learn from this conversation that we had with Faisal about the key insights from the Canadian Workforce Fertility Gap Index and how you can apply these findings to build a modern data-driven benefit strategies that wins the talent war. Now let's continue our conversation with Faisal. We're taking a quick break, but when we come back, Faisal will be sharing why reviewing benefits more often can make all the difference.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep, healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah, well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep, that's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's dive right in and explore the real value of regular benefits reviews and how they can transform workplace engagement. Now, let's discuss the strategic importance of regular benefits reviews and Hub's unique approach to product innovation. Because Faisal, many businesses only review their employee benefits on an annual basis, and you believe that regular reviews are crucial. So, tell us, why should employers regularly review benefits, and how does Hub's platform make them more impactful and easier to understand?
Yeah, first of all, I think that most of the time employers review benefits annually, just from a financial standpoint, because they have to, because there's an annual renewal that happens. But I find many organizations that we come across, they haven't reviewed their plan design for many, many years. And things have changed radically, right? From pre-COVID in 2019 to today, but a lot of plan designs have stayed exactly the same. So when you look at the workforce today, there's different challenges, there's different demographics, there's more diversity, there's younger employees, and the needs have changed quite a bit. And yet we're still relying on old plan designs that served the workforce of yesterday. And the workforce of today is highly underserved based on what we're finding in our gap index.
Right. Well, that's a vital point, Faisal, and it's good to see that a dynamic benefits platform is such a powerful tool for aligning employee needs with their business goals. Now, finally, let's discuss Hub's leadership in innovation and its vision for the future of employee benefits. Because you're at the helm of a multi-year effort to reimagine the employee benefits experience across Canada.
Yeah.
And this is a significant mission. So please tell us more about what is Hub's vision for shaping modern, scalable benefit solutions, and what future for workforce trends do you see beyond 2026?
In every talk I ever give, I probably mention the word data about 16 times. So there's an over-under on that. So I think the future is data for sure. Like that's been my mission and our mission since 2018 when we really started seriously getting into employee benefits. It's really sort of having that data to then drive insights to help employer make different decisions. Because I think the issue that we've talked about in our report is that the gap that exists between employers and employees is really as a result of incomplete data that the employers have on the nature of the employees. So what we're really trying to accomplish is to help those employers augment their decision-making with data, right? And really we call it data-driven empathy. How can you use data to walk a mile in the shoes of that employee that you see every Monday morning to really understand what their needs are? And how can you then address something in the boardroom that really addresses that employee's needs? So that's really what we're trying to do at Hub, is really drive that data-driven empathy and help make decisions to really understand the different diverse groups in an organization.
That is an inspiring vision, Faisal. And it's clear that Hub is positioning itself as a leader in shaping the future of employee benefits in Canada. Now, this has been quite an interesting and a very engaging conversation with you, Faisal. And thank you so much for, setting a vision as such for the future that are clearly set to transform how Canadian businesses approach employee benefits and the workforce vitality. Now, as we wrap up, what is that core message that you'd like to share with the Canadian SMEs on strategic decisions about employee benefits?
Yeah, and like I said, earlier, I've talked to many small business owners across the country in different industries, and I really empathize because I was a small business owner as well around that need for retaining employees, and really retaining employees is the key for them to be able to scale their businesses. And what we're trying to do is empower them to retain those employees, because employees are telling us that comprehensive and a personalized benefits program makes them 71 to 72% more likely to stay with an employer. So I think benefits is often sort of seen as something that's on the side. It's not really looked at as an integrated approach around retention strategy. But I think there's a miss there if you don't look at it that way. And I think there's certain tweaks that you have to make. They don't have to necessarily cost more, but it's really around delivering it on the terms of the employee. So one of my favorite quotes that I always live by is that communication only happens on the listener's terms. And I think what's happened with benefits is that we deliver it in the boardroom terms, but not necessarily in the terms of our employees. So I think that little shift will make all the difference.
That is a powerful and a very essential message, Faisal. So thank you for that. But overall, thank you so much. It's been such a great pleasure having you on the show for you to share your vision and share such great expertise up here. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And that was an insightful conversation with Faizal Mitha, the Chief Sales and Innovation Officer at Hub International, on the Canadian Workforce Fertility Gap Index, the key insights from the study and the implications for the future of employee benefits, the strategic importance of regular benefits reviews, and Hub's leadership and vision for the future. And thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. We really appreciate your continued support. Please be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more expert insights and resources that can help your business thrive. You can also visit our website, CanadianSME.ca, for valuable tools and information. Special shout out before we leave to our partners RBC, UPS, A1 Global College, ADP, and Google for their commitment to empowering small businesses in Canada. And until next time, please keep innovating and striving for success. We'll see you in the next episode.